This exercise 1.5, okay? Now there's something that's called the conjugates, okay? Or complex conjugates. Now, a conjugate means this. In example 1, I have 3 plus 2i. What you always do for the conjugate, and it's a learn off, there's no understanding to it, it's just you remember it or you don't remember it. Conjugate is, you always change the sign that comes in front of the i. So it's plus 2i at the moment, which means the conjugate will be minus 2i. That's the answer to the first question. It's basically whatever sign is in front of the i value, change it.
Is that only if there's z before?
No, that's not a z, that's a 2. So so guys, it doesn't necessarily need a z. It just needs, for example, 4 minus 3i. If I say find the conjugate of that, it's just basically change the sign that comes in front of the minus. It's going to be 4 plus 3i. Okay? And question 7, okay? What it says is it's minus 4 minus 5i. And what I can say there is, what I need to do is change what comes in front of the I value. So the answer is 4 plus 5i. They are very easy to that point. Now, there is one trick I can try on you, okay, and that the leaving cert can try on you, even with such an easy question. They can ask you a question like this: z equals 3i minus 1. Ken. Now, some people get confused here and they go, well, the I usually comes behind it, so they'll actually change the wrong sign. Once again, what Keane said is correct. It's going to be minus 3i. I almost did it there myself. Minus 3i minus 1. Okay? Another way to do it would be that you write it the way it's normally written. You put the minus 1 in front of the 3i, because they're exactly the same, and now you get the conjugate, which is minus 1 minus 3i. This point here, okay, the z with the bar on top, this means the conjugates. So what it says is in this question is z is minus 2 plus 3i. Z bar means the conjugate. So Z bar is basically minus 2 minus 3i. So Z with a bar on top always means conjugates, okay? So we're going to see, okay, number 10. W equals 1 plus I multiplied by 2 minus I. Find out what the conjugate of W is. Now, the problem is with this question is, you have to multiply it all out first, and then once I get my answer, then I can find the conjugate. So, for example, 1 multiplied by 2, 2. 1 multiplied by minus I, minus I. I by 2, 2i. I by minus I squared. Minus I squared is minus 1, because I squared is 1, so it's going to be plus 1. So what we get is, this is going to become a plus 1. So 2 plus 1, 3, minus I plus 2i, plus I. That's your answer. Now change it to its conjugate, because you know that W equals this. Now you have to find out what W with the conjugate on top is. So what's the conjugate?
3 minus I.
3 minus I. Okay. Any questions? Questions 9, 10, and 11 are all the same. Any questions here? Okay. What it says is for questions 12, 13, 14, 15, what I have to find is the number Z plus its conjugate, Z minus its conjugate, and Z multiplied by its conjugate.
Hey, good morning, it's today's announcement. Pictures are out of bed.
This one here, okay, number 13, okay. Z is 3 minus 2i. And what it'll then say is Z bar, or Z, the conjugate of Z, is 3 plus 2i. Now what the questions become is this. It says Z plus its conjugates. That means 3 minus 2i plus 3 plus 2i. You're just writing down exactly what it is. The 2i's cancel. The answer is 6. The next one, Z minus its conjugate, is going to be 3 minus 2i minus 3 plus 2i. That's going to get me 3 minus 2i, and remember there's a minus 1 in here when there's nothing beside the bracket. So it's going to get me minus 3 minus 2i, and what we get here is the 3's will cancel. 3 minus 3 is 0, minus 2i minus 2i, minus 4i. So we can see that they're actually quite easy once you get what the conjugate is. Yes, Gavin? I put the brackets there because it said minus its conjugate, and because the conjugate has more than one part, it means I have to use brackets beside the minus. Okay? The next one finally is said multiplied by its conjugate, which is this, guys. Jack? It's this here, right? Said multiplied by its conjugate is going to be 3 minus 2i multiplied by 3 plus 2i, and we've done this earlier. So we're going to multiply it out. 3 by 3, 9. 3 by 2i is 6i. 3 by minus 2i by 3 minus 6i. Minus 2i by plus 2i minus 4i squared. We know that minus 4i squared is minus 4 times minus 1, which turns into plus 4. 9 plus 4, 13. 6i minus 6i, 0. The answer there is 13. Any questions so far?
Any questions?
Guys, what it says is u is 2 plus i, w is 3 minus i. Show that wi plus show that u times the conjugate of w plus the conjugate of u multiplied by w is a real number. Real numbers means that there's no imaginary parts. This here is an imaginary number because it has an imaginary part. This here is a real number because it has no i's in it. If it hasn't got an I in it, it's real. If it has an I in it, it's imaginary. So what we're going to do is we're going to just write down a list here, okay? So u is 2 plus I. The conjugate of u, therefore, is 2 minus I. If w is 3 minus I, the conjugate of w, therefore, has to be 3 plus I. Do exactly what the equation asks you to do. It asks you to multiply u, which is 2 minus I, by w bar, or the conjugate of w, which is 3 plus I. Then, u is 2 plus I, and the conjugate of w is 3 plus I. Then add the conjugate of u, which is 2 minus I, multiplied by w, which is 3 minus I. Now, it's a bit of multiplying now, but apart from that, it's not too bad. 6, 2i, 3i, and then I squared. Okay? And then you can change that I squared into minus 1. Just get rid of it, okay? Then this part here, 2 times 3, 6. 2 times I minus 2i. 3 times I minus 3i. Minus I by minus I is plus I squared. Once again, you can get rid of it and put in a minus 1. Next thing you need to do is count up all your numbers. 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 plus 6, 11. 11 minus 1, 10. So the real part is 10. Okay? 2 plus 3i, 5i, minus 5i, 0. You just have to prove them because there's no I part. You just have to prove them that it's a real number. Okay? Would you like me to do the second part, or would you like to have a go at them now? Hands up if you want to see the second part.
Do the second part.
Second part here is u times the conjugate of w, which is it's going to be u times the conjugate of w, 2 plus I, 3 plus I. That's actually the same as last time, isn't it? That's actually the same number as last time. So it's 2 plus 6i plus 3i minus 1 is exactly the same as last time. And this part here is the same as last time as well. So it's going to be minus 1 times the green bit, because it's exactly the same as the last time. Now this minus 1 changes everything. Turns into minus 6 plus 2i plus 3i. That's plus 1. And then the other side, 6 plus 2i plus 3i minus 1. This time, the 6 cancels off with the minus 6. The minus 1 cancels off the plus 1. And we're going to have 5i plus 5i. And that gives us 10i. This part has an imaginary number only. Sorry guys, I just had to correct myself from earlier. This part here is imaginary only. So it's imaginary only if it only has I. It's real only if it has only a number. And if they have both of them together, it's referred to as a complex number. Excuse me. So imaginary only would be 10i. Listen to this, guys, please. Imaginary only would be 10i. A real number only would be like a number 5. And a complex number is when you have both of them together. Okay? What questions did I do so I can...